Hey everybody, so happy to be here with Jack Howard Potter. He's brought back another phenomenal sculpture to be a part of this year's sculpture trail.
First of all, thank you for having me back. I absolutely love displaying the sculptures here. This sculpture is called Swinging 2. The sculpture was inspired by a piece I made all the way back in 1996, my first round of figurative steel sculptures. I made a figure on a swing. I wanted to convey that moment of fun, the kind of weightlessness of being a kid, that split second between going up and coming down at the end of a swing. That sculpture I made in 1996 didn't really activate in any way. It hung from the rafters of a gallery and was completely static and still, and it always bothered me that it wasn't in motion. So years later, I decided to make Swinging 2, and I wanted to figure out a way to be able to activate the sculpture and have it be moving. So I built this cradle frame swing set for the sculpture and then suspended it on these steel bars, and it actually moves on ball bearings. So with very little input, it will just move continuously for, half an hour at a time. Yeah, I would definitely encourage the public to come take a look at the sculpture, give it very gentle input.
Yes.
We want people to respect public art. We want people to also interact with public art, and there's a respect that goes both ways. So, red stands out against green, and I love my work to be outside in the public realm against the landscape, and the landscape is generally green. So when you have this flash of red moving in a green background, it just activates in a way that excites the viewer.
We always ask to give a little bit of advice to our future artists out there in Clayton. So give them some advice on how to be successful at what they do.
Well, I, as a young sculptor and a young person, really, when I was a kid, I was just totally entranced by public art. The spaces that I moved through that had public art were always places that I stopped and took a few extra minutes to look and to absorb. And there's a particular public art piece that was sort of burned into my memory at a very young age that I recently saw again, and I was transported back in time. So, I would encourage young people to really stop and take a moment and look with your eyes at whatever it is that interests you. Painting, sculpture, land works, whatever your thing is, take a moment to really sit and stop and absorb it. And don't just walk by and take a picture and then walk away and look at the picture. Actually have a conversation with the object that you're looking at and let it kind of in to your brain. And you'll be surprised later on down the road how it can come back and still be stuck in there all those years later. So.
Wow, that's great advice. Thank you so much. You're going to find this sculpture piece right here on Horn Square on Main Street in Clayton. And hope you'll come by, and remember, just a gentle touch makes all the difference.